How's it going? It's Rocky. It's my first trading video that I'm doing for 2026. I actually had a different plan for this week. I wanted to do a travel trading documentary, like a blog that something that someone I look up to, Shay from Humble Trader. She does a lot of these, and I wanted to do something similar. Shay was someone I followed over the years. She doesn't trade futures, but she's someone I met in 2023 at a conference. And this week I was in Monterey with family and I wanted to document what it's like trading while traveling and go through some of my P&L every day. However, it did not go according to plan as I wanted. It ended up becoming the end of my journey trading prop firms. So, as you can see from the post here that I posted this on Friday. It was a not a good trade. I want to say it's not something that defines how I am as a trader. Yes, I know it is a very, very big weakness that I do have, but I'd like to think that that weakness was just a compounding of a lot of pressure of holding on to 25 funded accounts. 20 of those were with Apex. There were 100K static accounts that I've had since August 2025, actually. So, pretty significant time, at least 6 months or so. I was finally getting close to being my highest mark for that. If you haven't been following me, I post transparency daily on how I do with these trading on YouTube and other social media posts on Instagram, Threads, and on X or Twitter. And for 2026, my goal was actually that I was not going to spend any more expenses on prop firms. I had these 25 funded accounts, and my goal was to get them to pay out no matter what. It was either get a payout or if I lose them, then I lose them. And the prop firm is something that I started the journey. I started it in late 2023. This is when I separated from my W-2, so trading became more of a full-time instead of a part-time that I was doing. And since I didn't have any income coming in, I needed my trading money to pay the expenses, and that's why I relied on prop firms. Because with prop firms with a minimal cost, it could be a great ROI. Of course, you can argue that there's a lot of rules that make it difficult to get to payout, but at the same time, people will also argue the ROI for it is worth it. The prop firm space has evolved a lot since I first started in 2023. I went through a lot of up and downs. Feel free to check out some of those videos I've done over the years on it. And it got to a point where I just really wanted to get to payout so I can hit break even. So basically, it was a goal of mine to hit break even because I was not profitable on the prop firms. And it became more of an obsession to get there. And because I do YouTube and I do, multiple 20 plus accounts, I think it was always in the back of my head that I had this goal that, oh, let's impress the public and let's show how I can get multiple payouts with these. And uh, as much as I love the challenge, I think it brought out the worst in me. But on Friday, it got to that point. I think it's one of those where I've been so disciplined for a long time that I could have allowed this day to be just like those disciplined days, right? But I don't know how to explain it. I think you could say I was happy to lose them. I know that's a very bad thing to say. It was just the burden of it was a bit too much, and I think I just wanted to focus on the personal account. It's like a sunk cost that I realized, okay, I can't win it all. This one, I just need to move on, take the L. Like I lost in this journey of the prop firm space. I have nothing against it. A lot of people uh, do love prop firms because, again, in their mind, it's a very little expense with an exponential potential of an ROI, return on investment. But what made it easier for me to move on from this, even though I had such a big loss, let me just run through what my losses were for prop firms. And this is something that I've always kept track on Excel sheet. So here, the last 3 years for 2023, 24, and 25, you can see the different prop firms I used. In 2023, I did Apex and Top Step. In 2024, I did those two, including Trade Day and Take Profit and My Funded Futures. And then on 2025, no Top Step, but I did jump into Tradify. On Tradify, they had a straight to funded account. And you can see here my expenses. Let me change that to something that is easier to see. So these are the expenses that I had here, and I'm gonna add it all up. So let's do a sum of those three, the last 3 years. So it's pretty much an expense of $32,407.05, which is pretty significant. It's a scary number if you think about it, but it's just my pursuit of trying to get to break even just dug myself a hole. So I think it's healthy that I move on from it. And one of the big reasons why I'm okay to move on and consider this a sunk cost was a lot of it was due to, just the past year in 2025 mostly. I was leading with my personal account from Thinkorswim and from NinjaTrader. So with the trade copier, I was using NinjaTrader as my lead account, and in parallel, I was trading on Thinkorswim because Thinkorswim is where I started trading futures in 2020. So I'm more familiar with it. It's where I do all my analysis, and the margin is a lot higher to enter with Thinkorswim, which is actually beneficial for me because if you think about it, I trade the YM, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and one E-mini on Charles Schwab or Thinkorswim, you'll need a margin of at least $17,000. However, for NinjaTrader, that exact one contract will only need $500 for the day. So it was pretty easy for me to size up from NinjaTrader, which had its pros and cons. But over the long run, it was definitely more of a con that I had access to that amount. So you can say it's a personal issue I have with sizing. So by sticking to Thinkorswim account, my personal account Thinkorswim, I should be able to handle the sizing a lot better. But let me just run through how I did in 2025, just a proof of that. I did a video earlier in the year comparing those two, but the most important part is actually having the 1099B. So 1099B is what you get, at least in the US, if you trade the futures market. It's what you use for your taxes, and it is tax season, so it's important to show this. So this is my proof of how I did, and I was gonna avoid doing this because, to be honest, it takes a lot of time to blur all of these personal information on here, but I think it's an important page to show, especially in the world of social media where a lot of people could, I don't know, fudge their results, I guess. But anyway, on this one, you can see my name right there. I'm gonna blur again a lot of the personal information. This is from Charles Schwab, and this is the year December 21st, 2025, and you can see here my total profits for Charles Schwab Thinkorswim is $38,303.50. This is where I had a confidence. I was like, hey, if I could do it in my personal account, I'm pretty sure that with the copy trading that I'm doing times 20, I mean, the possibilities were endless, right? It's just that I could not replicate that at all with the funded accounts. A lot of the main difference is with my personal account, I was able to swing when I needed to. However, with the funded accounts, it was very important to pretty much close the trade at the end of the day because it was not allowed to do a swing. So I'm gonna bring the calculator up here just so we can add up what were my actual personal gain on my personal account. So on Charles Schwab, as I mentioned, that's $38,303.50. And then next we'll jump to NinjaTrader, which is the other account that I used for trading my personal account. This is what I use for a lead. For 2025, I actually had a negative P&L for NinjaTrader for 2025. So we will subtract that number. So minus $3,460.50. So for the year, if we compare those numbers to the Excel sheet that I just showed earlier, let me bring up that Excel sheet. It's not a big difference, right? I barely broke even, but the fact that with my two personal accounts, I was able to recover the losses the last 3 years. It makes it easier for me to move on. I mean, you can also say, was it all worth it in the last 3 years if your delta is barely $2,000? I think it is. I've grown a lot as a trader, and I have a lot of confidence with my personal accounts moving forward, even though I had this huge setback this past week. And just to add to this, I'm doing this more of a confidence booster, I guess, per se. I'm going to show you my NEC form. So essentially, if you were trading the funded accounts and you had a payout, you would get a 1099 NEC. It's a NEC is a non-employee contribution or something like that. I don't remember what the exact meaning for NEC is. Essentially, this is what you get paid for having a funded account because, you are dealing with paper money. So it's not actual real money where there's some tax benefits with a personal account. But, that's neither here or there. But on this one, this is on 2023. I actually only had one payout. It was $1,000. It took a week to get to that $1,000. So my confidence just went up really high. That was just from one account. And I think that cockiness is what led to my downfall. And, trying to get to that 20 accounts. And of course, trying to replace my engineering income that I lost in 2023. As far as all the other expenses, it just compounded to something horrible. But anyway, I'm gonna add this to that total amount, so $1,000, and then we'll jump to 2024. So this is 2024. Again, this is from Apex. Here, my non-employee. Oh, there you go. NEC is non-employee compensation is plus $342.71. That number is actually a combination of payouts and also some affiliates. So for a few months there, I, got a code from Apex, and then I was actually hesitant to share it with some folks, but I've gotten some advice that, hey, why don't you just share it? Because I was sharing hopefully helpful information, and some folks wanted to help me out. So that 3,400 on top of that's a combination of the payouts and affiliates for those that bought accounts. It makes you wonder, right? Those big channels. If you support them, they definitely get a good cut of that. So that's 2024, and then I lost my affiliate status only because I really wasn't pushing enough. It's not something that I was explicitly promoting either. And then on 2025, I had a bit here. This is again from Apex. It's what was left. So they paid out what was left on from that year. So plus 217.24. So I would say the last 3 years, or rather the last 3 years with Apex payout plus my personal account in 2025, that got me to $39,462.95. And then if you subtract my total expenses with all the prop firms the last 3 years, that's net $7,055.90. Definitely not a livable wage, something not to be proud of, but I just wanted to share how this is why I'm okay to move on. It's a sunk cost. It was the fallacy of trying to reach that break even amount with the prop firm. As much I would have loved to, I think I just need to accept that I don't have the right personality or the right system to be able to succeed in that, and it's okay. It's really okay. I wish I could. I'm trying to think of a amazing quote from some amazing books that I've read, but I'm just blanking right now. And I wanted to do this more of as a one take video, and since the wound is still pretty fresh, I wanted to get it all out there. But moving forward with my channel, I actually would like to focus more on other topics outside of trading because I am passionate about personal finance. I do actually believe more in set and forget long-term investing, which people may find boring, but overall, my main goal was the day trading was going to replace my W2 income, but my overall of building wealth, that was going to be done through set and forget long-term investing, mostly in index funds. So it's more of something I would like to cover eventually. I just don't know how to release that, but I at least wanted to give this explanation. I know it's over the years, I really wanted to come out with a content that says, hey, look, I made it happen, but I'm accepting defeat, and I'm ready to move on from this. So hopefully this explanation made a bit of sense. Again, thank you everybody for supporting me over the years, and let's stick around for hopefully better personal finance content that I'm going to aim to release more in this channel. All right. Y'all have a good one, and thank you for tuning in.